talk about Terence Crawford. Excuse me. He basically said, you know, he ain't worried about the judges or the officials or whatever. So you got Harvey Dock, Tim Cheatleman, Steve Watchfield, and it's another. Harvey Dock is the ref. Tim Cheatleman, Steve Watchfield, and it's another guy. I was confusing Steve Watchfield with Harold Letterman the other day. My bad. Rest in peace to him. Rest in power to him. I forget the other judge name. One of the judges, scored Camboso and Maxie Hughes a draw, which people said that was a robbery. I think somebody scored it 111, 117 too for Camboso. I could be wrong because I didn't see the fight. I just saw the highlights and heard the aftermath. And then he also talked about what separates him and Errol Spence. So thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase the chance to get notifications. We go live or drop video. And he basically said that he can't, he had the same mindset Dimitri Bivol had. Bivol said, I ain't worried about the judges. I'm going in there to, do what I can control. I'm worried about me. I can't pick the judges. I can't pick the officials. I'm worried about going in there, just doing me. And hey, that's all you can do. If they take it from you, they take it from you. It don't matter. The Errol sexuals. He dropped Errol every round, and the Errol sexuals, Errol Spence fans still gonna say he lost, and I told you. So this is the risk you take. This is why, you've seen Fulton take a risk going over to Japan, and he dealt with some bullshit. But when you cross the street and you take a risk, you got to be on point. You got to be on point. You can't afford to start slow. You can't afford to do the De La Hoya versus Trinidad and coast on the back end. I mean, you definitely got to be at your best. You got to be damn near perfect. Look at Dimitri Bivol. They tried to take it from him, and he damn near won every round versus Canelo Alvarez. So you can't do shit out the ordinary. Remember Tim Bradley said, I chose to wear no socks versus Pacquiao, ended up breaking both of his feet. So you gotta just treat it like it's another fight. And it seemed like Terence Crawford team is covering all bases. Like he said, I'm gonna get to what he said, but it seemed like they covering all bases. You got a fight of this magnitude, you got to cover all bases. You got to. But yeah, you can't worry about the officials. I mean, two of the officials scored the fight for Devin Haney over Lomachenko. I think Terence Crawford is 4-0 in Las Vegas. Sean Porter, Kell Brook, Jeff Horn, and Victor Postal. So he has some familiarity fighting here. But ain't nobody gonna have, ain't the boxing world not gonna have pity on Terence Crawford if he get robbed. They gonna, even if it ain't historically close, they gonna act like it ain't, well, you can't call it a close fight a robbery. They gonna start saying that. So he gotta brace himself to be good, especially when you got a guy like Errol Spence who like to come forward. Especially you got a guy like to come forward. They like to score the fight for the aggressor, effective or ineffective or somewhere in between. And that's why I tell you guys, when you get in there with a bigger guy, or you the B side or whatever, you got to get in there and you got to set the tone. You got to set the tone. You can't sit in there and try to box on the outside. No, you got to get respect. And you can't go in there banking on, he gonna get tired and I'm gonna catch him later. You can't go in there banking on, I got to get a knockout. Even if you got knockout power, can't bank on that. I mean, Pernell Whitaker, he did a job on Chavez and still got robbed. So at the end of the day, really you can't worry about it. You got to worry about you being on point, what you need to do. You got to be more focused than ever when you going up against an establishment and you going against a machine. Because ain't nobody going to have pity on you when you vilified in the media. They going to say, well, he deserved it. Good. We don't like him no way. He deserved to get robbed. And you ain't got to worry about a rematch if you do it the right way the first time. So the one thing he got to think about is not knockout. It's not necessarily mistakes. Cause fight go long enough, everybody gonna make mistakes. It's one word that he need to worry about, and it's domination. It's not perfection, because ain't nobody gonna be perfect on this world. He gotta dominate. He gotta dominate. He gotta have a dominant performance. Not perfection, not mistake free, dominant. You gotta dominate. Anything less, they can take it from you. Now Errol Spence said something as well. And he said, as long, regardless of the judges, officials, I'm not worried about it, as long as the people know who won. And that's something similar that Dimitri Bivol said as well too. He said, it's out of my control. But Bud gotta think dominate. Not sure he can knock out Errol Spence. I'm going against the grain with a split decision, and I already know, that's probably, not going to happen. But he did go into talking about how his, what he going to do versus Terence Crawford. Errol Spence, he said that he planned to use his skill set. He says that his counterpunching, his jab, his movement, his mentality, his ring generalship is what separates him from Errol Spence. He says that's what separates him from Errol Spence. He said his mentality, his ring generalship, his counterpunching, his jab. And I don't even think he mentioned speed. It's in boxing scene. I don't even think he mentioned speed. And if you talk to Victor Postal, and obviously he got traumatized by Terence Crawford's speed, he think that's going to be the difference, is the speed. And what made Inoue a bad motherfucker, I listen to Greg Hackett on YSM Media, go subscribe to YSM Media, and Greg Hackett got a channel too, just put a name in, is that he had hand speed and foot speed. And if he added more feints to his game, and Pacquiao was a feint king, he'd probably be even more deadly. And as he move up, he gonna have to add more feints. But when you got power and everybody know you got power, ain't nobody just running into a burning house to see, really see if it's burning. You know what I'm saying? Hey, everybody, let me put my PPE on and all that type shit. And it's going to be interesting to see how much respect these two got for each other's power. It's going to be very interesting. And I think they both tit for tat type fighters too. So it'll be an interesting fight. But, that's interesting, And he pointed out his outside of him saying his mentality, which I think a lot of them people feel like they kind of got the same mentality. I think the counterpunching is really what's got exposed in Ordenis Ugas fight. I think he's seen opportunities to counterpunch Errol Spence, and I think there's opportunities, to eat. Anytime you got somebody that going to the high guard, and that's why you see Floyd, he used multiple just different looks. Anytime you see somebody use the high guard, the thing where Ordenis Ugas kind of really lost it at, he threw one at a time. The one thing about Crawford, he gonna throw 3, 4, 5 at a time. He gonna throw multiple. So Ugas hit it with one shot, then one shot, then But the thing about Terence Crawford, he gonna land one, but once he feel like he can land the one, then the 2 gonna come, then the 3 gonna come, then the 4 gonna come. then all type of shit gonna start coming. So it's gonna be an interesting fight, and the Dennis Ugas fight made me think the fight was closer than I originally thought. But it's interesting. He the things that he pointed out about the ring generalship, the jab, and he also pointed out that he counting on his brain. And the one thing about a pressure fighter, they want to apply pressure so you can't think. And Inoue, I keep going back to that fight, and obviously it was this week. Shout out to him. His power, him and Manny Pacquiao's unpredictability, how they dart in and dart out. More Manny Pacquiao, he used more feints. That's kind of the same kind of thing, like offsetting you with pressure. A lot of people get pressure and they can't think, they can't handle the pressure. They start to wilt. You know what I'm saying? They start to panic. They want to move. And as a pressure fighter, when you get somebody moving early on, and they running and they not moving with a purpose to set something up, condition wise, they gonna get tired. And when they get tired, they gotta stand and fight. Their legs already gone. I gotta sit and duck, and all I gotta do is not lose. All I gotta do is close the deal and not lose too many rounds early on. Kind of seen that with Benavidez and Plant. But if you got somebody that know how to handle the pressure and think under duress, you seen all the people that fight the great pressure fighters, they go to them. They sit there. I mean, even Mildred Taylor versus Chavez, he was fighting them. First you set the tone, then you go box. That would be my mentality. But sometimes you get drugged into a fight in which you stay there though. So how you start, not necessarily how you finish, but usually it's how it go. It's hard when you get into a tit for tat fight, then you try to want to go box. Not too many guys can kind of switch that shit up, but he also said that they train for everything. So they covering every space on the board. So they covering everything. And I don't blame them. So they covering for every type scenario. But hey, it is what it is. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live or drop video. Check out the boxing news and welterweight playlist. Both them articles are in the boxing.com. Appreciate y'all. Peace.